Hi everyone, Mature Simmer. So back here on Mega VIP, and a lot of work to get those two fields planted. You can see this one's already growing. The edge of the other one was growing. It ended up going overnight. I think I did show some of that in the last episode. But I'm just going to go ahead and get the planter put away, and then I'll see if there's anything I need to do before my crop is ready for harvest. Alright, so it was a bit of a rhetorical question, I guess, because obviously just starting up this operation, there's going to be things to get done here. And I think that will put me in the right spot, but yeah, according to Precision Farming, we've got ourselves some lime to get done. So again, these containers are only 7,300. So I'm going to fill the back three. The one in front is filled with fertilizer. I do love this truck, or this trailer. It's been working great. Alright, so if you recall, I placed the spreader over here. I was beginning to worry I couldn't fit in there, because yeah, I think I did it with a different tractor. I might have done it with a smaller one because I don't necessarily need this one. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up as well, because until I start to know what my real consumption is, I don't want to go too crazy, because there is a bit of a challenge here, and I'll explain that in a bit. So we'll get this topped off. I think it's 25, oh, not even 18,950. So get that closed off. We'll head out into our fields. My hope is I can get this done today. So taking a quick peek at other things as I've been running around, I'm getting some significant production out of the cows already. I've got like 30,000 liters of milk and so forth. But yeah, that's going to be another thing on the agenda, is grass work, to just make sure we're in great shape to keep that going. So if we just take a quick look, we've got 1,200 eggs, and then again 15,000. I thought I had 30,000. It was 30,000 of slurry, but you know, doing pretty well. And again, we've only got 240 cows, so they're going pretty quickly, and you know, still 400,000 liters of food, so I should be okay to certainly get this done. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this done, and actually it looks like I've kind of forgotten about weeds, so that's going to be the next thing that I'm going to need to focus on. So after I do this, I will likely come through and do the weed spraying, but at this point we'll see how things will go with the lime, because again, obviously we've got a bit of heavy consumption with lime typically. Now again, we will only need to do this every so often, but right now certainly want to get myself set in as good a spot as I can for my crops. And we started out with about 360,000 liters of lime, so I'm hoping that will be enough to get myself through this group. You know, you can see on the Precision Farming map how things are changing up. So I think we were in the okay state, so I could have probably let this first crop go, but just wanted to get off on the right foot for the farm, especially since, once again, I have no idea what my yields are going to be. I don't know if one harvest of each of the canola and barley is going to be enough for the VIP orders that we have waiting for the farm to start us off. So there's just a lot of things that I'm not sure about, but the best way I know to combat that when I'm starting off in a new location is to just do the right things, and certainly that's to get my crop in the best state it can be for growth, and that certainly involves changing the pH value of the soil and getting it into that, as you can see, the 7.0 range for silty clay. So that's a bit of the challenge here. Is we're on soil type here that is going to be a high demand of the lime, but the good news is, we're still not halfway empty, and we've come around a good way on the field. I think we're going to have a soil type change here if I'm looking at my map, but perhaps not. So yeah, if I go back here, a lot of silty clay, but then we do have some loam, and then again, this is a pretty good field there. And I don't know if you caught my environmental scores, but I'm basically at about 62 on each field. And that'll take a little bit of work on the farm to get that up, and that's another thing that I want to push for, because if I can get the environmental score benefit as we're selling things, that's all just a bonus to help move along faster. So, as I've said in the series intros, I think I'm going to keep these pretty brief, just not looking to make extremely long episodes here, just more looking to see if this is going to work out for me. So I'm going to continue to move along. I've got a lime both 9 and 8, and when I'm done with that and ready to start spraying for weeds, I will return and give you an update, and we'll talk a little bit then. So I'll see you in a bit. So I've decided to jump back in here because I've been having a lot of fun keeping this going as the work's been moving. One thing I'm amazed with is just how long this takes. You can see it's already 4 in the afternoon of this day. I'm still here on field 9, but the thing I've been able to do to keep this moving is the 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th areas are lime. So I've got my pipe set there, but I'm keeping him full as he goes around and works. So it's been pretty nice with that, because at least I'm moving as fast as I possibly can. So basically, the tractor never stops, but as it starts getting empty, I kind of do this. And so I just figured I'd share that with you, kind of, enjoy the fun I've been having. And this is what I kind of expected, on a large operation like this, where it's just me and I'm not doing it with multiple people. I kind of need to do what I need to do here. So I just switched to the 4th. Of course, I've got to try not to hit him and go along. I could probably set my cruise control to go to the right speed, but let's see. We'll look at a little bit of the next bin. So that should start pouring in. And again, it's almost just a little bit of 19,000 before it's full. So, alright, and at this point, because he's going, it's just going to keep filling. So I'm going to pull away. And the truck is maxed out when I'm doing that, so I can't fill it. It hits max weight. I'm not sure. I'm probably still not going to get done on this field with this load, but I might be able to with the 10,000 I have. So yeah, if I could get rid of the seed and the fertilizer, I could go ahead and do that. One of the things I had talked about earlier is, there were some challenges here, and this is stuff you've got to figure out as you play a map. So the trigger point on filling that silo, the supply silo, doesn't work with all the implements I've got. So I've been trying to keep it honest, in that, let's say I had to put that 3,874 fertilizer in. I can't actually do that out of the truck. It just never seems to hit the trigger point, and I don't know if it's because this pipe is so high and then it can't sense things down below. And I have spent time with some of the implements trying to figure things out, which is how I've discovered the fill point on the seeder, for example, was way out on the side for seeds, as opposed to over things. So I was looking at the wire maps and this and that. But looking at that with some of the other implements, I've just decided, because I'm filling that so irregularly, that I will, just do that with the development tools that I can move things around on, but not let that stop me from going ahead, because I don't want to, I like this trailer. It does great work on most things. It just doesn't work in certain areas. Those are the decisions you need to make as you work a map. Is sometimes you may find that things aren't quite lined up, but as you get more familiar with Farming Simulator, you'll start to kind of make those decisions and say, hey, it's my own single player game. This is what I'm going to do to be able to use the map. But I also want to be honest with folks that sometimes the map design isn't great for everything, and once again, the modders can't test every combination. So, as I hit other things, hopefully I won't keep hitting other things, but I will keep you posted on that. But at this point, I think it's looking like we're not going to finish this lime until the next day. I think I'm okay, because I've got 2 of 8 here. I think it's like 2 of 6 or whatever, because at some point it becomes too late to spray for weeds. But I think I'll be okay as long as I do it before growth. But that's also why I'm not doing things like crop destruction and so forth, because otherwise I just couldn't keep moving things along. It just wouldn't be terribly fun. So again, if I was doing an Ultimate Realism series or something, maybe I'd think differently. But I'm pretty sure this tractor will be able to come back down here. I'll be able to fill it on the way back, and then, like I said, hopefully at that point it'll be enough to get this field done, and I can start field 8 before the evening. Who knows? But I'll be back in a bit. I am back and getting a very early start, because I was up till a little after midnight yesterday finishing up the lime. So at this point, I don't know that I'm ready to concede that maybe I need multiple pieces of equipment and that I need to run multiple setups each time, because I'm not quite sure that things are going to stay where I'm doing both fields at the same time. So before I do that, I want to really see what's happening. And at this point, I should be able to get the weeding done here, spray the herbicide, and be in pretty good shape to then move forward. I'm going to have to focus on the grass next, but for today, and to finish up this episode, I'm going to go ahead and spend a little time getting the herbicide done, and I'm hoping starting at 5 a.m. is going to give me enough time. Alright, so at this point, you can see I've got pretty good weed coverage. I think I'm going to go ahead and get started right around here. Now, I'm using a sprayer. This has the See and Spray technology that's available with Precision Farming. So I'm hoping this will be very, very efficient as I go along. And basically it will just spray where it sees some weeds. You can see the weeds going away. I've determined using this other places, so now you get a better view there. You can see it's just jetting out where it needs to along the arm. Now obviously we have some big patches there that are going to take some significant amounts, so same thing near the field edge there. We've got a large cluster, but this is supposed to use up to 90% less fertilizer or herbicide. So now obviously we have large patches like that. The whole thing is basically spraying as if it would be normally, so it's a little crazy how that sprouted. I don't know if that's generated by a mask on the map, or just sheer luck in the fact that basically this field has now grown entirely for 2 days, where field 8 over there, other than the edges, is only going to have 1 day of growth, unless of course this takes longer than I expect, because once again I can only go 7 here where I was going 11 with my lime spreader, for example. Now, I don't think I got the lime spreader going right away, and now that I know I want to start early, I can go. Plus, I think this is pretty wide. I'm not sure that the sprayer or the spreader for the lime was quite this wide. This is 28 meters at the full width, so we're talking almost 90 feet, or maybe even in excess of that. So focusing on the VIP orders, as is what I'm doing in this series here, priority is definitely spend that time where I need to get things done. And once again, our first set of orders, as a reminder here, is the canola and the barley that we're trying to get done. So the nice thing is we started at 3,360 liters, maybe a quarter of the way around, maybe a little further, and we've used maybe 40. So unlike the other pieces, like for the lime, for example, I think I used in excess of 150, probably 200,000 liters of lime across those two fields. So that takes some work. It takes some refilling when your spreader has less than 20,000 liters in it. Yeah, this is really not incredibly helpful with those giant patches, and I'm just wondering if that happens throughout the field or it's just strange. I don't think I've ever seen weeds consolidate that much ever in anything I've done, so I'm going to be curious as I go forward season to season, are these fields just going to do this all the time? Because that is just large, very focused patches, which makes no sense. I mean, typical is what we're hitting here in any event. It's going to take a bit of time to get around, but I'm going to get this done, and then we're going to focus on grass work for next time, I believe. I'm going to take a look at what I've got left, because I may have to feed the cows, I may have to do some other things, so, but somehow likely we're going to be focusing on something with the cattle, just to keep things plowing along there. And for now, you certainly understand what I'm doing here. Definitely a beautiful, beautiful sight as the sun is coming up. So as I've let this go on a little further, I think I can see a good amount into the field, but maybe not. It's just hard to tell how far it's really drawing. But I'm hoping these patches are really along the edge and that things in the center are going to get a little better, although I see like one popping out. I may not really be able to see further than that is what's happening. But I'm going to get this done. Hope you've enjoyed the ride around the farm as I've been doing this work. But I'm going to let you go here. We'll call this a wrap, and I will see you next time.